Hi, Gabe here, West Coast SCI Physiotherapy. Today's video will be a 10-minute core workout. The reason why we want to work out the core is fourfold. First, it helps with our overall strength. Next, it prevents injuries. Third, if you don't have a strong core, it's really hard to strengthen in general. And fourth, it's really the foundation of all movements. If you didn't get a chance to check out our previous video on how to contract the core, it's listed in the description below. We'll need a towel for today's exercises, so pause now if you need to grab one. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of our latest releases. So first off, I'll just review the core contraction and neutral spine, and we'll go into the exercises from there. So the core is made up of several muscles in your stomach. I won't get into that because it's in our other video, but I just want to review how to contract it. The easiest way is basically thinking somebody's gonna gut punch you and you're gonna protect yourself by squeezing your belly tight. Before that, however, what we wanna make sure is that we're in a neutral spine. So you wanna have a little bit of space in your low back, but not too much of a space. So how I find the neutral is what I'll do is a pelvic tilt or kind of tilt my pelvis so then I flatten my back and push it down into the ground. And then what I want to do is the opposite of that. So I'll arch up to create lots of space between my back and the floor. And then what I want to do is try to find that middle ground of where it feels comfortable. So once I found the middle ground of where that feels comfortable, I'm going to think about somebody going to gut punch me. I'm going to tighten up my core. While I do that, I make sure I'm not over squeezing so I can still breathe. I'm staying relatively relaxed through the rest of my body, but holding a bit of tension through my stomach. So ideally, as we do these exercises, you're gonna try to think about keeping that tension through your stomach as we start adding some arms and legs movements. Okay, so that's just a quick review of the TA, the core, and how to contract it. So we're gonna start in our exercises. I'll just start our timer. Okay, so we're gonna do our first exercise called the heel slide. So we'll get what's called a crook lying position. So this is lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And I'll start the timer as we talk about how this looks. So it's give me a quick countdown. So what we're gonna do is heel slide one leg out at a time. So what I'm gonna do my core contraction, my neutral spine, and I'm gonna drag my heel along the floor. I'm kind of pushing down into the floor while maintaining the contraction through my stomach. And I'm doing one leg at a time. And of course, while I do this, I'm breathing. So I'm not holding my breath. And I'm also contracting through the core, right? So you basically keep that tension as if somebody's punching you throughout the entire time. We're gonna have a quick rest in between exercises, so don't worry if you're finding yourself getting fatigued. And of course, you can always stop before the 45 seconds if you're finding either pain, you can't maintain the contraction, or what have you. And there we go for heel slides. We'll have a quick 20-second break in between. That gives us enough time to set up for our next exercise, which will be arms overhead and then allowing our arms to drop. So I'll just wait for that break so everybody can just have some time to relax the stomach. Take a deep breath in and out. So here's our arm overhead. So again, I'm finding my core contraction, that neutral spine. And what I do is as I allow my arm to drop overhead, I'm kind of reaching up and over my head as well. So I'm kind of pushing up towards the top of my head. And as something to really be considering is watching the arch of your upper back. What's gonna happen is as you bring your hand over your head, the tendency is gonna be to arch your upper back and create a lot of space through the back where your shoulder blades contact the ground. And you want to avoid that. You want to keep contact between the ground and your shoulder blades as you're letting these hands kind of move and go over your head. And there's our 45 seconds. We'll take a quick breather. And I have an ant crawling on my leg. And remember, at this time when we're breathing or when we're relaxing and taking a break, you want to let the core go. You want to let it relax. Take some nice deep breaths. I like to kind of think 2 or 3 seconds in through your nose and 2 or 3 seconds out through your nose. Next exercise, we're combining those two exercises, so the heel slide and the arm overhead. And what we're gonna do is, again, make sure that core is contracted, that neutral spine is happening, what I'm doing is dropping opposite arm to opposite leg. So for example, as my right leg kicks out, my left arm is dropping over my head. Things to think about is breathing, of course. And as I drop my arm and my foot, I'm kind of pushing my foot down towards the ground, and my hand is reaching up over my head as well. And there's our 45 seconds. We're going to take a quick breather. Let your stomach relax. Take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth. Okay, next exercise. Hands and knees. Finding that stomach or the tension through your core, neutral spine. We're going to do arms only. So again, what I'm doing is just lifting one hand off the ground. As I lift, I'm kind of pushing out in front of me, so kind of up through the top of my head. As I do this, I'm making sure that I'm not arching through my back. I'm also making sure I'm not poking my chin out. I want to keep what we like to call a neutral spine. So I'm kind of keeping my face flat or parallel to the ground. I almost kind of like to think is if I had a large grapefruit, I'm holding the grapefruit underneath my chin to hold that neutral spine through my neck as well as my pelvis. And there's our 45 seconds. We're gonna just take a little breather. I'm just gonna rest like this, but you can rest in any position you find most comfortable. Again, you're letting your core relax, taking some nice deep breaths. Just allowing yourself to relax and not keep tension through your stomach the whole time. Okay, so we're back to the hands and knees. I'm gonna again find that core, find the neutral spine, grapefruit under my chin, and now I'm gonna kick my legs out. So with this, kind of with the heel side, I'm gonna kick my leg out and reach behind me with my heel. All while keeping, again, that tension through your stomach, keeping the neutral spine throughout the back and the neck, and really trying to watch that I'm not rocking through my hips. So what some people will try to do or do while they do this exercise is kind of let their hips sag, or they'll kind of drop their hip. You really want to try to keep a nice flat tabletop across your back into your hips. And there's our 45 seconds there. And remember to relax, let the tension out, take some nice deep breaths. For our last exercise, we will combine the two arms and legs from that 4-point kneeling position. So here's our countdown, and we're gonna try it out here. So again, opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm reaching my hand up in front of me as I push my heel behind me. So I'm kind of like, we call this a bird dog exercise. It's kind of like that hunting dog, the duck hunter kind of a thing, where the dog will point towards the duck. Is kind of what this is trying to reenact. Again, through that tension through the tummy, neutral spine, reaching out in front of me and reaching my heel behind me. Just remember, if you're finding yourself getting tired, you can pause. If it's painful, obviously there's something going on that needs to probably be addressed. These exercises may be a little bit more advanced than you're ready for. Excellent, very good. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions for future videos. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.